right into this explainer because what we're looking at today is, frankly, terrifying. We are uncovering the rise of a massive new cybercrime, one that literally turns your own digital footprint into a weapon against you. We're stepping into a reality where seeing and hearing are no longer believing, and honestly, the stuff you post online today could be used to digitally imprison you tomorrow. What we're unpacking here is a highly organized, cross-border criminal machine that has completely revolutionized extortion for the digital age. Picture this: your phone rings and you pick it up. It's your daughter, maybe your brother or your partner. They're crying hysterically, practically begging for help. They say they've been in a horrific accident, or even worse, kidnapped. Suddenly, a cold, stern voice takes over the line, screaming instructions at you. Your heart is pounding out of your chest, right? You do absolutely anything to save them, so you transfer the money instantly. And then, you find out they were perfectly safe at work the whole time. That frantic, terrified voice, it was an AI clone. Guys, this isn't some crazy sci-fi movie plot. This is a daily reality we're seeing right now, a calculated emotional hijack designed to completely short-circuit your logical brain. And if we zoom in on the tactics, it gets even more sophisticated. Imagine being trapped on a video call by someone wearing a highly realistic uniform, sitting right in front of a perfectly simulated police station backdrop. They create an illusion that feels as real and as suffocating as physical captivity. You're ordered to keep the camera on, you're ordered not to contact a single soul, you are, for all intents and purposes, held hostage through your very own smartphone screen. Now, the most shocking part of this entire threat boils down to a single number: 3. It takes exactly 3 seconds. That's it. Just 3 seconds of your clear speech, scraped from an old school play video, a birthday reel on Instagram, a podcast, or even a casual voice note you dropped into a family WhatsApp group. With just those 3 seconds of audio, today's off-the-shelf cloning tools can replicate your exact tone, your pacing, even your quirky little pet phrases, with 85% accuracy. Basically, your voice online is a biometric fingerprint, and you probably didn't even realize you were leaving it everywhere. Once they've got that audio, these scammers run a highly optimized 4-step playbook. First up, audio sourcing. They scrape your voice. Step 2 is voice cloning, where they feed it into an AI tool that can actually stream your synthetic voice in real time. Third is caller ID spoofing, using VoIP tech to make your actual name or phone number flashed on your relative's screen. And finally, step 4, fund extraction. And what's truly terrifying here is the sheer speed of it all. From the exact moment the phone rings to the moment that first fraudulent transfer goes through, scammers need less than 5 minutes. They are exploiting a tiny, hyper-focused window of absolute sheer panic. There's a fascinating insight in the research from Professor Triveni Singh, a former IPS officer and cybercrime expert. He points out that these guys don't actually start by scaring you. They start by earning your trust. They'll use that familiar cloned voice or throw around a heavy title like a CBI or customs official just to bypass your logical defenses before they trigger the panic. You see, they aren't hacking your computer with some complex code. They're socially engineering your mind. The absolute second they inject fear or greed into the conversation, the trap is already set. And this psychological hijacking has evolved into what's becoming a full-blown epidemic for 2026, known as the digital arrest. Think of it as an incredibly insidious form of cyber kidnapping. Fraudsters simulate a full-on legal arrest. They'll tell you a parcel with your name on it was seized carrying narcotics, or maybe your Aadhaar card is tied to an international money laundering ring. Then they enforce this digital detention. You are ordered to stay on a continuous 24/7 monitored video call. It's basically pseudo-legal theater, entirely designed to extort massive clearance fees from folks who are simply too terrified of the law to question what's happening. But let's pan out for a second and look at the big picture. When you zoom out from the individual fake FIR documents and the spoofed calls, the reality is staggering. These scammers are running elaborate, deeply convincing illusions on a massive industrial scale. We're talking forged arrest warrants, fake Supreme Court notices, perfectly spoofed caller IDs, the whole shebang. The victim is completely isolated, often without the legal awareness to know that real police officers simply do not conduct interrogations or demand security deposits over Skype or WhatsApp. This is a vast, incredibly organized, cross-border network capitalizing purely on public ignorance and our natural fear of authority. And the financial devastation backing all this up, it is absolutely staggering. According to recent data from the IJRDO journal, a massive 200 crore rupees, that is 2 billion rupees for perspective, were drained nationally in just the 2023 to 2024 period alone through these organized cyber financial frauds where a digital arrest was the main tactic. So we aren't talking about petty theft here. This is a massive wealth extraction operation targeting literally everyone, from senior citizens right up to highly educated corporate professionals. If we break down the data to see where this hits the hardest, it's really fascinating and scary to see how Karnataka, and specifically the tech hub of Bengaluru, has become a massive hotspot. The national average loss per case is around 3.5 lakh rupees, but in Bengaluru, that number jumps up to 4 lakh rupees. Why is that? Well, fraudsters are intentionally targeting areas with high per capita income and deep digital penetration. They know tech workers usually have substantial savings and very high credit limits, making them super lucrative targets for these complex money laundering narratives. Tracking the timeline of these calls reveals a truly terrifying psychological breakdown. Look at this. At hour 0, the call starts. By hour 2, the fear has completely set in and a second transfer is already made. But by hour 6, after 6 hours of continuous digital isolation, sensory deprivation, and just aggressive interrogation, victims are completely exhausted and broken. This is exactly when the bulk transfers happen. Victims are routinely coerced into liquidating their fixed deposits, emptying mutual funds, and even taking out instant digital loans from fintech apps, just handing it all over to the scammers. Their entire strategy relies on a pretty brutal pivot: the trap versus the vanishing act. First comes the intense, manufactured pressure where they demand instant UPI or QR code payments. But the literal second that money leaves your account, the scammers vanish. They just cut the call and immediately funnel those extorted funds through a crazy, complex web of untraceable mule accounts, sometimes even bouncing it into crypto. By the time the victim finally shakes off the panic and calls the real police, the scammers and the money are long gone. So what do? How do we actually fight back against this? Well, thankfully, your best defense isn't some highly technical software. It's entirely behavioral. You just have to break the spell. First, always apply the 5-minute rule. If you get a call like this, hang up, wait 5 minutes, and call your relative back on their actual saved number. Second, set up a secret family safe word for genuine emergencies. Third, absolutely always hang up on anyone claiming to be an official who is demanding money or a security deposit to avoid arrest. And lastly, never ever share an OTP or PIN over a call. Real banks and real police are never going to ask for them. Zooming out to our broader digital hygiene, this whole situation serves as a massive wake-up call for securing your entire digital life. You've got to implement multi-factor authentication on all your accounts. Use strong, unique passwords. Please avoid clicking suspicious links. And if you are ever contacted by the authorities, verify their identity independently. Go online, find the official branch number yourself, and call them directly. Seriously, taking just 1 minute to pause and verify can save you from a devastating amount of financial and psychological trauma. We're entering an era where our own voices and our own images are the exact tools being used to deceive us. And the technology is only going to get faster, cheaper, and more realistic from here. In a world where seeing and hearing is no longer believing, we simply can't just rely on our eyes and ears anymore. We have to rely on our discipline. So, I'll leave you with this question. Are your behavioral reflexes sharp enough to pause, step back, and break the spell? Really think about it. And more importantly, please share these tactics with the people you love. Stay safe out there.